Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Please join us for another class on Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. Today we'll be studying Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam 10th Canto, chapter 35. The Gopīs sing of Kṛṣṇa as he wanders in the forest. Hope everyone is doing well and staying safe in this COVID-19 lockdown. And this is a wonderful opportunity where we can engage in remembering Lord and understanding how we can surrender to His lotus feet so that we can attain the purpose of this life. Hare Krishna, please join us for a little Kirtan. Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jai Radha Kunja Vihari Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jai Radha Madhava Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschanti Deshtarine. Hare Krishna. So today we'll be studying Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam chapter 35. The Gopīs sing of Kṛṣṇa as he wanders in the forest. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 Narayanam Namaskritya
Narayanam Namaskritya
Naram Chaiva Narottamam
Naram Chaiva Narottamam
Devim Saraswatim Vyasam
Devim Saraswatim Vyasam
Tato Jayam Udiryet
Tato Jayam Udirye
Shravtam Swakatha Kṛṣṇa
Shravtam Sa Katha Kṛṣṇa
Punya Shravana Kirtanaha
Punya Shravana Kirtana
Hridayantastoya Bhadrani
Hridayantastoya Bhadrani
Vidunoti Suhatsatam
Vidunoti Suhatsatam
Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu
Nashtaprayeshu Bhadreshu
Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya
Nityam Bhagavat Sevaya
Bhagavate Uttam Shloke
Bhagavate Ruttam Shloke
Bhaktir Bhavati Nashtiki.
Bhaktir Bhavati Nashtiki.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Please join us. We'll cover the very first verse in the purport. Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, 10th canto, chapter 35, verse 1. Shri Shuka Uvacha
Shri Shukuvacha
Gopya Krishna Vanam Yate
Gopya Krishna Vanam Yate
Tam Anudruta Chetasaha
Tam Anudruta Chetasa
Krishna Leelaha Pragayantyo
Krishna Leela Pragayantyo
Ninyur Dukkena Vasaran.
Ninyur Dukhena Vasaran.
Please read.
Shri Shukuvacha
Shri Shuka Uvacha
Gopya Krishna Vanam Yate
Gopya Krishna Vanam Yate
Tam Anudruta Chetasa
Tam Anudruta Chetasaha
Krishna Leela Pragayantyo
Krishna Leelaha Pragayantyo
Ninyur Dukhena Vasaran.
Ninyur Dukkena Vasaran. Shri Shuka Uvacha.
Shri Shukuvacha
Shri Shukdev Goswami said,
Shri Shukdev Goswami said
Gopyaha,
Gopya,
the Gopīs,
the Gopis,
Krishna,
Krishna,
Lord Krishna,
Lord Krishna,
Vanam,
Vanam,
to the forest,
to the forest,
Yate,
Yate,
having gone,
having gone,
Tam,
Tam,
after him,
after him,
Anudruta,
Anudruta,
chasing,
chasing,
Chetasaha,
Chetasa,
whose minds,
Krishna,
Krishna Leelaha,
Krishna Leela,
the transcendental pastimes of Krishna,
the transcendental pastimes of Krishna,
Pragayantyaha,
Pragayantya,
singing loudly,
singing loudly,
Ninyu,
Ninyu,
they passed, Dukkena,
Dukhena,
unhappily,
unhappily,
Vasaran,
Vasaran,
the days.
the days.
Translation by the disciples of His Divine Grace, Sri Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Shukdev Goswami said, whenever Krishna went to the forest, the minds of the Gopīs would run after him, and thus the young girls sadly spent their days singing of his pastimes. Purport: although the Gopīs enjoyed direct association with Krishna at night in the Ras dance, during the day he went about his normal duties, tending his cows in the forest. At that time, the minds of the Gopīs would run after him, but the young girls had to stay back in the village and do their own duties. Thus, feeling the pain of separation, they would sing about Shri Krishna's transcendental pastimes. Hare Krishna. Om Ajnana-timirandasya Jnananjana-shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Mukam karoti vachalam pangum langayate girim yakripatadaham vande Shri Gurum Deenataranam. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So, this particular chapter, Srila Prabhupada in Krishna book says, is very instructive to us. For us, it is very good. We should read as how the Gopis were constantly engaged their mind. They are meditating on Lord Krishna. So, while they were performing Ras dance at night, but during the daytime also they wanted his association. And Srila Prabhupada in the Krishna books, he writes very nicely that they wanted to associate with Lord during the daytime. However, during the daytime, Lord Krishna would leave for the forest with his cows, along with the cowherd boys and other cows, and oxen and bulls. And so when he is gone, how would they associate with him? So they would sing loudly of his pastimes, transcendental pastimes. And in this chapter, the Ashtakarya Leelas, those are the ones being narrated. So we talked about their eternal pastimes and their occasional pastimes. There are two types of pastimes. Occasional pastimes are the pastimes like killing of demons, protecting the residents of Vrindavan from the torrents of rain sent by Indra. So those are occasional pastimes that are performed in this, when Lord Krishna advented to earth. While Ashtakarya Leelas are constantly pastimes during the 8 times during the day. So all those pastimes are related to loving exchanges with the devotees. And when the Gopis are staying back at home and carrying out their duties, because they are focusing and constantly singing of the glories of Lord Krishna, and they are constantly meditating on him, their minds completely absorbed in his transcendental pastimes, thinking of him, his name, form, activities, pastimes. It is not that they would give up their duties, rather they would perform their duties expertly. They were very much dedicated in performing their duties expertly, while, it is said that in this case, dukkhena vasaran, because they are in this feeling of separation. And this is the feeling Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when he appeared, he showed in the mood of Radharani, in the mood of separation. So when he was in Jagannath Puri, he constantly showed this mood of Radharani as how she is in separation with Krishna, constantly chanting the glories of Krishna, constantly remembering the pastimes of Krishna. So Lord Krishna in Bhagavad Gita gives us this instruction how we can constantly remember him. He says, Macchitta madgat prana bodhayantah parasparam kathayantascha mam nityam tushyanti cha ramanti cha. Macchitta madgat prana. The devotees of mind have their minds absorbed in thinking of me. Madgat prana, their lives devoted to me. Bodhyanta parasparam, they are constantly enlightening each other. Kathayantascha mam nityam, and they are constantly describing my transcendental pastimes. Tushyanti cha ramanti cha. So in this manner, when they are engaging and chanting and remembering me, they are tushti, right? So they are feeling great satisfaction. And then ramanti, transcendental bliss. So they are experiencing transcendental bliss and feeling satisfaction in their heart. So Gopis, they wanted to remember Lord Krishna even during the daytimes, and so they were in direct contact with Lord Krishna by remembering him, singing his glories, and conversing with each other. So again, when it is said conversing with each other, the devotees are conversing, that means the importance of devotee association. So again, there are 6 elements very important for the growth, for the enrichment of our spiritual journey and spiritual strength, so that we can engage in our devotional service very nicely. And those are Utsaha, Nishchaya, Dhairya, Tat Karma Pravartanat, Sangatyaga, Sato Vrittah, Sadvir Bhakti Prasiddhati. Utsahan, with great enthusiasm. Like the Gopis, they are not just chanting and mumbling, no, they are singing loudly. utsaha, nishchaya, with that determination of the Gopis that they don't want to forget Krishna even for a moment. They're constantly immersed in remembering Lord Krishna. Dharya and their patience. So we are learning. So in Bhagavad Gita we get the instructions as what to do, but in Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam we'll learn how to do it. So we are learning from Gopis as how to carry out these various activities and the mood. And Tattva by engaging ourselves in the 9 process of devotional service. And then Sangatyaga. So this is Asat Sangatyaga, which is giving up the association of materialist, rather seeking the association of devotees. So in the association of devotees, in the assembly of devotees. And that is the very setting where Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam was first spoken by Shukdev Goswami. And then following in the footsteps of previous acharyas. So those are the 6 elements, and when we engage ourselves with these 6 elements together, we progress very nicely. So this is where we are learning. So Shukdev Goswami is describing Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. So he is the one from whose lips Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam is spoken first. And Shukam is parrot. And Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam is the ripened fruit of Vedic knowledge. Its Amal Purāṇa is the topmost of all the scriptures. And so, if you see a fruit and that has been, there is a mark that a bird, or especially a parrot, has taken a bite out of it, that means it's very sweet. So this, already the ripened fruit of Vedic knowledge has been touched by the lips of Shukdev Goswami as he is constantly singing the glories of Lordship in the form of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam for 7 days, 7 nights, incessantly. So there is no description ever given that Shukdev Goswami asked for water or some food. He constantly chanted Lord's glories. And as he is chanting Lord's glories, who is the receiver? Who is the hearer? Look at the qualification. Parikshit Maharaj is the emperor of the world, who has decided to fast until death because he has received this curse from Shringi, the son of a Brahmana, Shamika Rishi, who cursed him that he will die in 7 days and a snake will bite him. So that's how his death would come. So he's waiting for his death, yet at the same time he is listening to Shukdev Goswami for these 7 days, 7 nights, and he is not feeling any pangs of hunger or thirst. And this is where, in the association of devotees, the great sages assembled in this gathering. Sutta Goswami is also present there. Later on, Sutta Goswami repeats whole of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam at Naimisharanya. Then there are great personalities like Vashishta, Vishwamitra, Vyasadeva himself is present. There are Gautam Rishis and great Atri Rishis and all the great sages are present. Narad Muni is present. So all these great sages are present in this assembly because they want to relish this, ripened fruit of Vedic knowledge. They are eager to taste this ripened fruit of Vedic knowledge. Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. And Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam is said to be not different from Kṛṣṇa. So when we associate with Kṛṣṇa, we become pure, and it purifies our senses so that we can, again, what is the effect? We get more attraction towards his lotus feet. That's why we chant the holy name. Hare Kṛṣṇa, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Holy name is a prayer to Lord Kṛṣṇa through our mother Radharani, that please engage us in your service. And so we are constantly seeking to build our mind to focus on Lord's lotus feet. And it is very instructive. This is how Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself showed that in Jagannath Puri he was in constant separation and he was singing glories of Lord Shri Krishna. The 6 Goswamis in Vrindavan, they were wandering in Vrindavan, giving up their princely lives. They were living so opulently as ministers of Nawab Hussain Shah. Yet at the same time they gave up all those princely estates, all the wealth. Rather, they were living as mendicants, wandering in Vrindavan, calling out, "Oh Krishna, where are you? Oh Radharani, where are you?" So they were constantly seeking Krishna in separation, while meditating. And sometimes it appears that they are sad, but no, they are experiencing transcendental bliss. Tushyanti cha ramanti cha. They are deriving great satisfaction by thinking of Lord Kṛṣṇa, and they are experiencing transcendental bliss while they are in separation. Even in separation, they are experiencing the presence of Lord Kṛṣṇa in their heart, as if they are directly conversing with Lord Kṛṣṇa. And in this chapter, it is very nicely described how the different gopis are conversing with each other. Reminds me of a scenario, of a story that Srila Prabhupada used to narrate many times, where he identifies that in this case there was a thief, and he used to go, and of course the business of a thief is to steal. So, Hare Krishna. So this thief once happened to attend a satsang, and here he is saying that the person, the preacher, is telling about Lord Kṛṣṇa, who is just a cowherd boy, who is wandering in the forest, but he is bedecked with nice jewels, pearls and ornaments, and very richly, opulently he is dressed with silk and yellow clothes, as brilliant as lightning, just like the golden complexion. And so he is wondering, and he's thought about this, that if there is this boy in the Vrindavan who is wandering in the forest, why don't I just go and, steal all the jewels from this boy, and that would satisfy me. So in this manner, thinking so, he goes to Vrindavan. And so he has this intense desire to find this young cowherd boy Kṛṣṇa. So he's wandering in the forest, and yes, behold, he is able to see Kṛṣṇa. Because of his strong desire. And so he approaches Kṛṣṇa. And yet at the same time, Kṛṣṇa is so attractive. He's looking at his lotus eye, his eyes are like lotus petals. His, smile is so charming. And he is bedecked with all these ornaments. He's wearing, Vaijayanti mala, the garland of forest flower that's going all the way till his knees. Just like a young boy, he is wandering with all these cows, tending to the cows. And so this thief, he is spending the time, he's thinking, let me spend some time, and then afterwards I will ask him to give me some of his jewels. Because he's so attractive, he did not feel like, attacking and stealing away or snatching. He could not have done that. So anyway, he continues to spend time with Kṛṣṇa, and as the sun starts to set, and Lord Kṛṣṇa is about to return back, he expresses this feeling that, would you like to give me something like your pearl necklace? And then Kṛṣṇa says, no, Mother Yashoda, she would be very upset if I lose my pearl necklace or any of my ornaments. I'll come tomorrow, then we'll talk again. So by saying this, Kṛṣṇa, makes him believe that next day also he'll be able to have the association of Lord Kṛṣṇa. So this thief is looking forward for that next day. All night, he's constantly meditating about this young, bluish looking boy, the bluish hue of Lord Kṛṣṇa. So he's thinking that Kṛṣṇa is just a normal cowherd boy. And he's so attractive, so beautiful, and he got so much ornaments on him, so much gold and pearl necklaces and various precious stones and so forth. So he's constantly meditating all night. Next morning, he goes looking for Kṛṣṇa, and he sees Kṛṣṇa. So his desire is so strong that he sees Kṛṣṇa, and he's now interacting directly with Kṛṣṇa. Just like sometimes we talk with boys to kind of make them feel good and so forth. So in this manner, he's constantly talking to Kṛṣṇa, and more as he talks, as he looks at Kṛṣṇa, he's getting more and more attracted towards the beautiful features of Kṛṣṇa, towards the beautiful way Lord Kṛṣṇa talks, the beautiful way he walks, the beautiful way he sits down. So Gopīs are also talking about similarly as how Lord Kṛṣṇa is tending to the cows during the day. And so the thief is spending day after day after day. So one day Lord Kṛṣṇa, when he comes with his cows, he offers himself that whatever you want you can take. But by this time, this thief has been purified of his anarthas, the propensity to steal, and he has become a devotee. And so by meditating on the Lord, he is able to go back home, back to Godhead, to engage with Lord in eternal pastimes. So that is so attractive, Krishna. That is the pastime where it is also very instructive to us, that just by association of Lord Krishna, all our desires are fulfilled. In Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam it is said, Akama sarva kamo va moksha kama udaradhi tivrena bhakti yogena yajate purusham param. Akama sarva kamo va. Akama means if you have no material desire, which means if you have any desire, they are only devotional service oriented desires, desire to serve Lord Krishna. Sarva kamo va. And even if you have all kinds of material desires, just like this thief, he had this material desire to steal ornaments of the Lord. Moksha kama, even if you have desire to attain liberation, moksha. Tivrena bhakti yogena, then what should you do? The instruction is that we should engage tivra bhav, right? With great enthusiasm, with great determination, with great energy, we should engage what? Engage in what? In serving the Lord with devotion and love. Tivrena bhakti yogena, devotional service. Yajate purusham param. So we should, do this devotional service unto Lord Shri Krishna. So he is the Purushottama. So he is the, among all the enjoyers, he is the topmost enjoyer. Actually, he is the only enjoyer. All others are just his energies. And then he expands into Vishnu forms, which are, again, simultaneously one and different. So that's Achintya Veda Veda Tattva. We discussed that in the last class as well. So here Lord Krishna is going with Lord Balaram and all the cowherd boys to the forest, and the Gopīs are in separation. So they are, singing Lord's glories, and then they are conversing with each other, Tushyanti Charaminti, to get that satisfaction and experience transcendental bliss. So one Gopi says to another. So many conversations are given in this form, that one Gopi is saying to another, sometimes the Gopis are saying to Yashoda Mai, Mother Yashoda. So Srila Jiva Goswami explained that this is happening at different times. So when during the daytime Lord Krishna would go, many times Gopis would converse at different days, different occasions with each other, while they are constantly singing the glories when they are alone, and even in the company of other Gopis. So here, one Gopi is saying to another that, do you know, my dear friend, that when Lord Krishna goes to the forest and he lies down on his left side, and he rests on his elbow, and his head is resting on his hand. So this is how they are saying that, when Lord Krishna, so they even remember how Lord Krishna walks. His walk is like that of, like of an arrogant. And I was thinking of whose walk could be like this. So I was reminded, majestic walk. And I'm reminded of Srila Prabhupada's walk. When he would walk in the morning, he would walk so majestically that sometimes even the young disciples, he was 70 plus, and young disciples of 18 and 20 years of age had hard time keeping up with him. They were almost jogging or running as they were walking with him. So he would walk so majestically. So Lord Krishna's walk is so majestic, and he would walk as if like elephants are driving, like the Gajendras, the king of the elephants are walking among the herd of among the group of the elephants and she-elephants. Then she is describing that his eyes are like lotus petals. He is so attractive as he is looking at the cows and the cowherd boys. Then another time they are describing that when Lord Krishna, he is playing on his flute, and when he plays on his flute, the whole environment, the whole ambience is constantly immersed in hearing the song of the flute. And when Lord Krishna is singing, the effects are being described by the Gopis. So that's also very interactive. They're not just, seeing how Lord is impacted, they are also saying how the whole atmosphere, the whole environment, whole of Vrindavan becomes constantly immersed. Iti drik swalila bhirananda kunde. In Damodarashkam we hear that Vrindavan Vasis, the residents of Vrindavan, the whole of Vrindavan is getting immersed in this rasa, of love, the transcendental love they feel towards Lord Krishna. So they are constantly immersed, experiencing this bliss when they are discussing about Lord Krishna. And when Lord Krishna is playing his flute, many things are happening. We also covered in the previous chapter, one of the previous chapters, that the nature of moving and non-moving things would change. The moving things would become still, as if they are in a picture, while the non-moving things, the trees and the bushes, they would sway left and right, as if they are, swaying along with the flute. So similarly here, they are describing various ways, they're discussing in different conversations, as how when Lord Krishna plays his flute, the whole environment changes, and how, all the animals, the calves and the cows, they are eating grass, but then they become constantly stunned. Their mouth stays open with still the grass, the chewed grass in their mouth, and they are appearing like statues with their ears erect in listening attentively, the song of the flute, the singing of Lord Shri Krishna. And so all these animals, they are appearing like they are in picture. While all this, we also covered, like, in the trees, that birds would sit and they would be constantly immersed, as if these are the great scholastic preachers in the previous life, great orators of scriptures. Yet at the same time, they have forgotten about all their qualities as orator. Rather, they are constantly immersed in hearing Lord Krishna. So when Lord Krishna starts, all orators, all preachers, they just stop doing whatever they're doing, because they're constantly attracted to Lord's lotus feet, to the hearing of Lord's songs and the flute. So they are constantly immersed. So this is the mood devotees are enjoying this transcendental bliss. Then they're describing that at that time when Lord Krishna is sometimes playing on his flute, the demigods, they are in their planes, in their airplanes, and they see Lord Krishna. And when their wives, the wives of the demigods, the demigoddesses, when they hear Lord Krishna, then they feel ashamed of their skills of singing and dancing, because they understand that Lord Krishna's singing, the playing of the flute is transcendental, it is beyond any comparison. And not just that they are feeling ashamed, they are being tormented by Cupid. So Lord Krishna is the original Cupid, who can steal away our heart. So, and of course from Lord Krishna we covered, Lord Balaram is the first expansion. For Balaram it is Vasudev, Sankarshan, Pradyumna and Aniruddha. And Pradyumna is from whom all the Cupids and the material universes, they expand. So he manifests further in each of the universe as the Cupids. So here Lord Krishna is the original Cupid. He is known as Madana Mohana. He can enchant crores of Cupids. That's what it is identified. Of course, in Brahma Samhita, Lord Krishna's descriptions, means his form and description are given, where it is described that he even enchants the Cupid, and he is more beautiful than crores, which is 10 million Cupids. He's so attractive. So they are disturbed when they are hearing this song of the flute, singing of Lord Krishna, and at the same time, deer, the she-deer, the doe, they are coming constantly immersed in devotion to Lord Krishna, constantly stunned by his beautiful songs and his beautiful looks. And so she is approaching Lord Krishna. And earlier we heard as how in the songs of the Gopīs, they're feeling jealous towards these deer who are approaching Lord along with their husbands. Because when Gopīs wanted to associate with Lord Krishna, their husband would stop them. While doe are so fortunate that they are able to approach Lord Krishna with their husbands. So this is where they are expressing and conversing with each other, describing the glorious pastimes of Lord Krishna. And they are saying that when Lord Krishna is singing his flute, the whole environment, transforms as the wind is coming from the south. So I'm giving, I'm paraphrasing the various descriptions, but understand the essence, that how, from the south, they are actually describing this to Mother Yashoda, that when your son, who is so expert in tending to cows, when he plays on his flute, very soothing wind blows. The breeze comes from the south, and taking advantage of this soothing breeze, which is very soothing to the senses, the demigods like Gandharvas and Kinnaras, they take advantage of this and they play on their bugles and their drums. So they are glorifying Lord Krishna. When Lord Krishna is tending to the cows and he is singing and playing on his flute, the clouds don't rumble very strongly. They rumble but very little. And instead of showering rain, they shower little flowers on Lord Krishna. So that is a beautiful description where they are conversing with each other. Even the clouds are showering in this form. Then they are saying that Lord Krishna, he has a similar complexion as clouds. So clouds and Lord Krishna appears to be friends. And they are friends of all living entities. Just like when one is tormented by heat, clouds shower rain, giving them the cooling effect. Similarly, when one is tormented by the burning in this material world, in this Dukhalaya Shashvatam, as we understand this material world, one's senses are constantly burning, then in the association of Lord Krishna, hearing about Lord Krishna, chanting about Lord Krishna, remembering Lord Krishna, serving Lord Krishna's lotus feet, constantly singing prayers to Lord Krishna, constantly engaging in devotional service with the association of devotees, in the association of devotees, one can experience that, blissful, transcendental calmness, tushti, and the bliss. So here, these gopis are describing as how when Lord Krishna is playing on his flute, his complexion is bluish, just like that of a rainy cloud. And so they appear like friends, and they are the best friends of the living entities who are being constantly tormented by various kinds of burning. So there is an analogy right there, where gopis are talking analytically, and they are identifying as how Lord Krishna is so blissful, and remembering Lord Krishna is so wonderful for us, for our senses, for our mind, and so forth. And Lord Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Madchitta madgata prana bodhayantah parasparam katyantasya mam nityam tushyanti charamanti. Just like we covered right now, that constantly singing my glories, engaging in, conversing with each other, they are enlightening each other, all the devotees. And in his instruction in chapter 18, Manmana bhav mad bhakto madhyaji mam namaskuru mame vaishyasi satyam te pratijane priyasi me. Manmana bhav mad bhakto. Always think of me, become my devotee. Manmana bhava. So constantly think of me, and bhava mad bhakto, become my devotee. Madhyaji mam namaskuru. Madhyaji is worship me. Mam namaskuru, pay obeisances unto me. Mame eveshyasi satyam te. Mam, to me, ever certainly, eveshyasi, you will come to me. So he is telling us, Mame eveshyasi satyam te, in truth. So he is telling us that yes, in truth you will come to me, because you are my very dear devotee. So this instruction is for Arjun, but it also is, as Srila Prabhupada explains in the purport, is for us, the living entities, who are suffering in this material world. We can go back home just by constantly remembering Lord Krishna, just by engaging in his service, worshipping him, paying him obeisances, and becoming his devotee, Madbhakta. We can easily transcend this material world. And here, gopis are conversing with each other, and they are saying to Mother Yashoda on one occasion, Srila Jiva Goswami explains that these gopis are conversing on different times at different places during the daytime, because they can never forget Krishna. They are constantly chanting, and they are constantly remembering the pastimes of Lord Krishna, his name, form, activities, and pastimes. So they are telling Mother Yashoda that your son, when he is an expert in tending to cows. So when he takes the cows along with other cowherd boys and so forth, and he is using his flute to call the cows. So just like Srila Prabhupada says in Krishna book, we have 108 beads in our Japmala. And these 108 beads represent the 108 gopis. So Shivananda Prabhu, and sometimes we used to converse, and he used to say that just by staying at one spot, he could visit all 108 pilgrimages And he shared this. It was very nice when we heard it. It changed the way we do the chanting of the holy name on our japmala. He said that every time each bead represents a gopi. So there are 108 gopis. So by chanting on each bead with that attention, that we are in directly touch with these gopis, with the mood that they have, because this is Tulsi, right? Tulsi is also a topmost devotee of the Lord. And in Kṛṣṇa book, Srila Prabhupada writes that these 108 beads represent 108 gopis. We are trying to be attentive, completely absorbed, meditating on the name form activities pastime. In a prayerful mode, we are chanting the holy name. Hare Kṛṣṇa, Hare Kṛṣṇa, Kṛṣṇa Kṛṣṇa, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So with that mode, we should continue to chant, continue to focus on Lordships. And if our mind wanders, which is, mind is fickle, Arjun says, it is more difficult to control than controlling the wind. But Lord Kṛṣṇa says that by practice one can control the mind. So by practice we bring it back to chanting of the holy name, back to doing our japa, and try to improve our japa by meditating on Lord Kṛṣṇa's pastimes. Sometimes even we look at the pictures of Lord Kṛṣṇa as we are doing the chanting of the holy name, because we want to always remind ourselves and fill our senses fully with Lord Kṛṣṇa's name form activities and pastimes, and continue to develop this mood. This is the great instruction. This whole chapter is very instructive as what Kṛṣṇa says in Bhagavad Gita and how we can incorporate it in our very lives, just by following in the footsteps of gopis, not by imitating them, but by taking shelter of their lotus feet. Even Lord Brahma, he is glorifying the residents of Vrindavan in Brahma Vimohan Lila, that he would like to be born, even at the outskirts of Vrindavan, so that he can touch the lotus feet of the Vrindavan Vasis, the residents of Vrindavan. Even as a stone, he wants to be there. And later we will hear as how Uddhava, he visits Vrindavan and he wants to be a creeper in Vrindavan, so that he gets the lotus dust of the gopis who are always searching for Lord Kṛṣṇa. So all over the place, gopis are glorified, and they are glorious because they are constantly meditating on Lord Kṛṣṇa. So that is the smart approach. Smartavya satatam Vishnu, vismartavya na jatuchit, sarve vidhi nishedrisyur etayor eva kinkara. Vismartavya satatam Vishnu. Always remember Kṛṣṇa. Vismartavya na jatuchit. Never forget Kṛṣṇa. Sarve vidhi nishedrisyur. All other prohibitions and rules and regulations are just subservient to these two principles. Sarve vidhi nishedrisyur etayor eva kinkara. They are the maid servants, kinkara, of these two principles. So principles need to be followed as it is, details can be changed. So that's why Srila Prabhupada, he introduced the essence of all Vedic literature is the chanting of the holy name. Yet at the same time, because of our life in this material world, especially in this age of Kali, and with all the work and so forth, he changed the detail. Instead of saying 64, he allowed us to chant 16 rounds minimum daily, and during special occasions like Narasimha Chaturdashi, or we have Ekadashis and so forth, on those days minimum 25 rounds, so that we get the protection. And how does this protection come? The protection in the form of an umbrella. So it's raining outside, but if you have your umbrella on you, above you, then you will not be wet, you will not get wet. So similarly, there are Kale Dosh Nidhirajan. So this age is an ocean of faults, and they are showering everywhere, all over the place. Yet at the same time, under the protection of the umbrella, we can stay safe while engaging in devotional service. And such is the benediction of this age, that Kalera dosha nidhe rajan asti heko mahan guna kirtana deva Krishnasya mukta sangha param vrajit. So this material world, Shukdev Goswami in the 12th canto is telling this to Parikshit Maharaj, Rajan, Kalera dosha nidhe rajan. This Kali age is an ocean of faults. Asti eka mahan guna. However, it has one great quality. Kirtana deva Krishnasya. Just by chanting the glories of Lord Shri Krishna, Mukta Sangha Param Vrajit. So we get delivered from the clutches of this material energy, the Maya, material energy in this world, Maya, and we can go back home, back to Godhead, which is Param Vrajit, which is the supreme abode. So such are the benedictions we hear constantly, but how do we follow? This is what we are learning from the Gopīs, and they are telling Yashoda Mai that your son is an expert in tending to the cows, and when he plays on his flute, they are great demigods, even the primal demigods like Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva, Sun God, Moon God, Indra, all of them are listening. And even though they are very expert, they are not able to understand. They cannot, get their mind around the wonderful melodies, the wonderful songs Lord Kṛṣṇa is singing. When he's playing on his flute, when he's singing, and they are bewildered, looking at this expert compositions that Lord Kṛṣṇa is constantly singing. So this is an amazing pastime where we, sometimes people take pride, oh, they can sing very nicely. Just like the wives of the demigods, they were become very proud. But when they heard Lord Shri Krishna, they felt ashamed of all the compositions that they had done, all the singing that they were doing. They were thinking they were very nice, but in front of Lord Krishna, they were nothing, because Lord Krishna is no matter what, always number one. If you want to be friend, he is our number one friend. If he wants to be an enemy, he is also number one enemy. If you try to cheat, he is number one cheater also. So no matter which field we take, he is always number one. And sometimes people, in their ignorance, they try to deride. So once, Prabhupada was asked these questions, with people coming with a challenging mood, they said, oh, can Lord Krishna create a stone so heavy that he cannot lift? And the perception was, if he creates a stone that he cannot lift, then he can't lift, so he's not God. So this is the way they were looking at things. Srila Prabhupada said, yes, he can create a stone so heavy that he cannot lift, but the very next moment he will get the strength to lift that stone. So right then and there, Lord's potencies are constantly expanding. And so Anantashesh, when he was requested to carry the universes on his head, at that time Anantashesh said that I will be carrying this on my head, but what happens on 1,000 hoods as I'm carrying this? When I get tired, how do I take rest? At that time he was given one simple instruction, that when you have completed singing the glories of Lord Kṛṣṇa, then you can take rest. And he is constantly singing with his 1,000 hoods, with his 1,000, mouths, the lips. He is constantly singing the glories of Lord Kṛṣṇa. He has not yet had the chance, because as soon as he comes in with clothes, Lord Kṛṣṇa expands immensely. And now, because he has been doing it so much, it feels like, now it is described in the Shastras, that the weight of the universe appears like that of a sesame seed. And what's the weight of a sesame seed? You can imagine. So he's singing glories constantly from the beginning, constantly singing glories of Lord Shri Krishna. So they are saying that these demigods, they are bewildered. And then when Lord Krishna is coming back after the day is over, tending to the cows along with the cowherds as he's coming back, they are joining him, singing prayers, and they are performing their evening prayers for Lord Krishna. That's why Lord Krishna gets delayed when he comes back. Why? Because Gopis are constantly looking for Lord Krishna. They are searching for Lord Krishna. They are hoping that Lord Krishna will return, and they are constantly looking at the path through which Lord Krishna and all the cows and cowherd boys, they all come back, and Lord Balaram along with them. So, and when he is delayed, that's what they are thinking, that all these demigods, they are singing prayers, they are performing their evening prayers in the presence of Lord Krishna. They are singing glories of Lord Krishna, and that's why Lord Krishna has to stop, giving them benedictions and blessings, and so he gets delayed. They are saying when Lord Krishna sings his flute, so one Gopi described it to another one, when Lord Krishna sings his flute, the waves in the Yamuna river Yamuna, they halt. So can you imagine? The waves are stopping. Yamuna river is constantly, waiting for the wind to bring the dust from the lotus feet of Lord Krishna. And they are saying her position in this anxiety, in this wait, patiently is like us, because we are constantly crying for Lord Shri Krishna, but thinking that he is coming we stop crying, waiting for him to come, but then we realize in disappointment that he is not coming, so we start crying again. So similarly, Yamuna river, she stops her flow, waiting for that breeze to bring the lotus feet, the dust from the lotus feet of Lord Shri Krishna. But when not seeing it's coming, she's being disappointed, she continues to flow. So they are showing their mood at such an exalted level. So these are the meditations as how we should follow, not imitate, but rather follow, as how these gopis are constantly remembering Lord Krishna. They are remembering Lord Krishna with various, as they are saying that Lord Krishna, he has Shivatsa on his chest, and they are calling it like he has a lightning mark. And how they are describing it, that Lord Krishna, goddess of fortune, is constantly serving Lord Krishna. And she is residing on his chest as a Shivatsa. So again, and here's, Kaustubha, so that's not being described, but Shivatsa is being described. And that she is, so dear to Lord that he carries her on his chest, and she is constantly serving Lord Krishna. They're describing the very form of Lord Krishna extensively. And again, in the scriptures, the form of Lord Krishna has been described again and again. But with faith, we can become purified. So the message is, we should hear this with faith and with constant remembrance, as the gopis are describing Lord Krishna to one another, to Yashoda Mai at different times, constantly singing his glories. And loudly they are crying out, but they are singing also very loud and very melodious as they are constantly singing. So this is, when we start our journey in Krishna consciousness, we start with faith. So there's a very nice story on faith. There was this milkmaid. So the lady was bringing milk to a Brahman's home every day. And what happened? She has to cross the river to deliver the milk. So every day when she would, try to cross the river, she had to wait for the boatman to be there. And so boatman would come a little later, and she would take the boat to Brahman's home, across the river, and she would give milk. And that Brahman would get very upset. He said, "You are late again. I'm carrying out my daily routines and I have to always wait for you and I get delayed." So she would say, "What can I do? I have to wait for this boatman to come so that I can take the very first ride and then I come to you." He says, "Oh, you don't have enough faith on Lord? You could have just walked on water." So he used to just say that to kind of chastise her. But he was saying it and she was meditating on it. That yes, if I meditate on Lord so much that I could walk on water and come quickly. So one day she came walking on the waters of the river. So she crossed just by walking, and then she delivered the milk. And he said, "Oh, today you are able to come early." She said, "Yes, but because today I followed your instruction. With faith I walked. And I walked on the water and I came." And he stays quiet. He's shocked. He's stunned, hearing that this lady was able to, but he doesn't believe her. So what happens is, when she has given him the milk and she is returning back, he's looking from his window. He is looking from his window, that is this lady lying or is this really the truth? And he sees her walking on waters. So she's walking on the river, crossing the river, walking on it, and she goes to the other end. And he's surprised. How is it possible? Then he says, "Oh, I am a Brahman, I am a much higher elevated personality. So if she can do this with her faith, I can do much better." So he comes out with his silk and dhoti and kurta and very nicely dressed, and he is, saying that, "Yes, I have great faith, I have been serving the Lord." And the moment he steps in the water to walk on water, he, just his legs go in water. So the lesson is the faith. Faith is not with any designation. It's not associated with designation. It's associated with our heart, with our feelings. How strongly we feel in serving Lord Krishna. How strongly we have the faith that Lord Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So we are tested time and again on our faith in this life. So we should take this opportunity. The human form of life is a great benediction that we have received, and we should use our time very cautiously and very, with great alert. We should be very much on alert, thinking that this material energy is very strong and she can any moment, encroach on us if we are not paying attention. So we should encroach on us when we are not paying attention. So we should be very careful in engaging in devotional service and constantly remembering Lord Kṛṣṇa. In 20th chapter, Lord Kṛṣṇa says, when he's talking about even Bhakti Yoga, the ladder, Mayyeva manadatsva. So the topmost is always remember me. So he's also telling us there. So time and again, Lord in his instructions are telling us, he's telling us, and the Gopīs are here showing us through their own lives as how during the day they were in association of Lord Kṛṣṇa while singing the songs in separation, constantly meditating on Lord, constantly conversing with each other about Lord Kṛṣṇa. So great way that we can associate with Lord Kṛṣṇa. So this is where we hear as how, and we realize as how we can constantly remember Lord Kṛṣṇa. And any moment we get, we should engage in chanting of the holy name. So once I was having this conversation with His Grace Anuttama Prabhu, Vrinda's father-in-law for Gaurvani, and we were conversing, and he was sharing that Srila Prabhupada used to say that even between morsel of food that we take from prasadam while eating, Prabhupada used to say, chant Hare Krishna. So much stress has been given on the chanting of the holy name. Because just by chanting of the holy name, we can become purified and we can develop devotion at the lotus feet of Lord Shri Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So this is where the chapter ends. Please join us for Nasimha Devati. Namaste Narasimhaya, Namaste Narasimhaya, Prahlad Lad Daine, Prahlad Lad Daine, Hiranyakashi Vakshavah. Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam ki jai, Śrīla Prabhupada ki jai, Anant Kori Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai. Nitai Gaur Premanande, Hari Hari Bol, Hare